Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Ready for news stories from Ask a Lawyer? Let's go to the first one, about OP's grandfather, who sold his house to OP's family, but now refuses to move out. Well, OP lost her patience and called the police, but now OP is the bad guy and her family is furious. Listen to the end of the story to hear my insights on the situation. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My family and I, 17 female, recently bought my grandpa's house after we lived with him for a year. That was always the plan, but we had to save up first, and he was the one who offered for us to buy it, as he wanted to move somewhere warmer. Throughout the whole time of us saving up, he constantly complained about how long it was taking, and how he wanted to move soon, and his girlfriend's lease was almost up, so she had to move soon. We finally sold our place and gave him the money, but then he switched up, saying he still had a lot to do in order to move. It was going to take a while for him to move, which I understood, as moving doesn't happen overnight. But if that was the case for him, why was he always complaining about it taking too long? He finally started to pack up his stuff, and we were happy to have the house for ourselves. We had planned a family trip to an amusement park a few months ago, and we left for 2 days. But when we got back, we found my grandpa's car gone, and all the locks on the house changed. We had checked the garage, and the door and the windows had been boarded up, and the garage remote was either in the house or gone. My mom called my grandpa, and they were arguing over the phone. Apparently, he said that he was coming back to the house for a few days, and he only did it so he would have time to get his stuff without us bothering him. I was fed up at this point, as he had always caused drama for no reason, other than liking to cause issues. Some of the things he would do to cause drama were turning the heat or air up an uncomfortable amount, and putting a password on the thermostat, blocking some vents with wood so whoever he decided would either be very hot or cold, purposely hitting our car with his because he didn't like the car, and so on. He had already signed the contract for the house, so it was completely out and he had no right to do what he did. I went to the backyard and called the cops, explaining everything, and gave them his girlfriend's address and all the info. But when they came to our house with my grandpa, my mom was very upset with me and told me we didn't need to bring police into this and could have worked it out with him ourselves. But I was so tired of his drama, I thought it was the best option. All they did was make him give us the key and asked if we would agree to give him 1 day to get his stuff out, and we agreed. So am I the a-hole for calling the cops on him? Honestly, I think OP acted more maturely than her grandfather or her mom. OP's grandfather locked her family out of the house on purpose. OP's mom was on the phone with him for half an hour, and then she spent an hour calling other people. It does not seem OP's mom was able to work things out with OP's grandfather. In the end, OP's mom and grandfather learned not to mess with OP. So I think it's a win-win situation. Let's see if the community agrees with me. SnowPies1514 says, not the a-hole. As soon as he signed that contract, he had no right over that house. Calling the police was very much necessary, as he was attempting to lock you out of your own house. Beginning Season 5827 says, no, you are not the a-hole. Do not let your family guilt you. Get out of that family dynamic. My family are all a-holes, and I really wish I had separated from them long ago. You deserve happiness and respect. KBass5 says, I'm sorry your mom doesn't think he did anything wrong. He literally locked you out of a house that you own. As of right now, he's a squatter. I would just put his crap in trash bags, put them on the curb, and say, we put your stuff outside. I can't guarantee that someone won't take it, so you might want to come get it before that happens. Y'all need to change the locks though. After you do, don't give him a key. As of right now, he probably has a spare, which means he can do this again. Not the a-hole. Hi, I'm 18 female. I have 2 brothers, 24 male and 32 male. Brad, 24 male, just broke up with Faye, 22 female, after dating for 8 years. They dated throughout high school and college. James, 33 male, is married to Vicky, 35 female. They both took the breakup really bad, even though it was technically mutual. I honestly don't think either one of them wanted to break up. I think they just had so many people telling them that they're so young and they haven't dated other people, and they should go out and explore what else is out there, even though neither of them really wanted to. My brother James was one of those people. He kept telling my brother that it was crazy that he tied himself down for high school and college, and even though Faye is a great girl, he should date around a bit. Anyway, yesterday I was babysitting for this family who go to the center I work at, who live the next town over. We went for a walk and just happened to walk through town, where Faye's new apartment is. Her and my brother used to live together. She couldn't afford the rent there on her own, so she got a new place. It's right on Main Street, so it's not like we went out of our way or anything. So we're walking by, and I see my brother's truck there. It was definitely his, which is whatever. There are like a million reasons why he might be there. But then on my way home, about 1 a.m., I was at a takeout place across the street from the apartments eating with my friend, and my brother walks out with Faye. They talk outside his truck for a bit, and it all seemed totally normal. But then she goes to walk away, and he grabbed her arm and pulled her back towards him and kissed her. Then they both got into the truck and drove away. So I don't know what to do. He's cheating on his wife. He's hooking up with our brother's ex, which is so gross. But if I tell anyone, it'll blow so much stuff up, and I really hate drama and confrontation and conflict, so I just don't know. Update. So I went to him and told him what I saw, and I told him that if he didn't tell his wife that I was going to. He didn't really react at all. He just rolled his eyes and said, not in his exact words, but that if I told his wife anything, he would just convince everyone I was jealous of Faye and was lying to cause drama. I told him he was a jerk and I was going to tell her anyways, so he literally said, fine, pulled out his phone and FaceTimed his wife. When she picked up, he was like, Carrie has something to tell you, and handed me the phone. I just froze up and didn't say anything because I wasn't prepared for it. His wife was just like, what was that all about? And my brother was like, oh, it's just her being dramatic again. Then he hung up and told me that I had no idea what I was talking about, and if I didn't mind my own business, he would make things worse for me. Now I'm really confused as to what I should do, because if I tell her and she doesn't believe me, and now everyone thinks I made up a horrible story and hates me. Wow, OP's brother is a total a-hole. OP needs to tell his wife and not to be afraid, or even try and get evidence of their affair if she thinks that nobody will believe her. I'm sure brother was having an affair with Faye while his brother was still dating her. Looks like OP and her brother's relationship is over. Let's see what the community thinks. Titus Imperius says, this is why I always roll my eyes at the BS advice of confront the cheater and give them a chance to confess with a deadline. It's stupid ducking advice for this ducking reason. They are a cheater, they lie, manipulate, and are scummy people. What are you people honestly expecting? All that advice does is gives the cheater not only time to come up with a story, but gives them time to clean themselves of all evidence. Stupid advice. JPK36 says, tell Brad. Have Brad ask Faye about it. Chances are Faye is not as good a liar as your brother. Faye may admit everything to Brad, and then Brad will know it's true. Then it won't just be you. Pilutus says, I'm really sorry your brother is twisting your character. Please don't let it dampen your spirits about this. She deserves to know. She might not believe you, but all you can do is try to tell her. Honestly, I feel like if you email her after that call, she might be inclined to believe you, just because your brother's actions were odd. Over a year ago, my husband and I got married. Toward the end of my reception, my husband's brother proposed to his girlfriend. I was a little irritated because he didn't ask my husband or me beforehand if it was okay. But overall, it was the very end of my reception, so I didn't say anything and let them have their moment. She said yes, and my husband's family celebrated it for a bit before we all said our goodbyes and headed home. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago. My husband's brother had his wedding. The reception happened and everything was going great until about an hour and a half in. I and the new bride were talking, and my husband's youngest brother comes up to us and asks the bride if he can propose to his girlfriend. She said absolutely, seeing as the same thing happened at my wedding. It's like a brotherly tradition. About 20-ish minutes later, he got on one knee and popped the question. She said yes. Then suddenly, the new husband came over and started yelling at his brother. Stuff like, how could you? This day isn't about you, and overall causing a scene. The two of us rushed over and tried to explain. The new wife told him that she gave her blessing, but he didn't seem to care at all, still pissed. Then I said, you have no room to talk, as you proposed at my wedding, without asking me or your brother. His response was, that doesn't count, as it was my husband's second wedding, so it doesn't matter as much. His brother's comment cut pretty deep. He got married to someone who told him she was pregnant, but turned out she never was. I responded in a way I now regret. So you want your younger brother to wait till you get married again to propose? I didn't mean it, but I certainly see how it comes off. I was just pissed that he would say that. My brother-in-law, I think, saw my point, but walked away seemingly still angry. The bride was visually upset, and that's when I realized what I said and immediately started apologizing. She told me she understood why I said it, and that her husband was being a bit overboard. But after we all went home, my husband's family, including his brother, older one, were saying I was an a-hole for defending bad behavior. I received a text from his youngest brother thanking me for standing up for him, and that a lot of the family is mad at him too. I kept apologizing to the bride, and she seems fine now, but can't know for sure what damage my comment did, and that sucks. I'm genuinely sorry about my comment. It just pissed me off when he said he thought my wedding was less important than his. So, do you guys think I'm the a-hole? I think OP's comment was straight to the point. The brother insulted OP and her wedding. OP's comment back was perfect. Snarky, but perfect. The sister-in-law should not be offended. If she is mad at anyone, it should be at her own husband for creating drama at their wedding. She consented to the proposal. He should have just shut up at that point, but didn't. Let's hear the community's opinion. Antihero123 says, "You made an a-hole-ish comment, but the middle brother is the true a-hole. 1. He started a stupid tradition. 2. He's a hypocrite. 3. He devalued your big day with the second wedding comment. I hope your new sister-in-law forgives you." Bam Badged says, "Not the a-hole. You were reacting to the brother's comment, not trying to insult his new wife. When you realized how it came across, you apologized." No Arachnid 2546 says, "Not the a-hole. He's a hypocrite, doubled down and was rude. You made a mistake in the moment, after a comment that would hurt anyone's feelings, and after realizing that mistake, you have since apologized." Me, 35 female, and my husband, 53 male, have been together for 10 years, and I have always cherished my stepdaughter, 23 female, as my own. She doesn't see it that way. My son, 17 male, completely looks up to her though. My stepdaughter never warmed up to me, even though I have been in her life for nearly over a decade. I've tried to keep her on the right path in life, but she refuses to even listen to me anymore. Recently, she moved back into my husband's house after finishing her degree. She says she's finalizing a lease, but it's been 3 weeks since, and it's still being finalized. I don't mind her staying here, but her lifestyle choices have been starting to get to me. She works night shifts, but still decides to eat just processed food, even when I leave some leftovers in the fridge from the night before. She also disrupts me and my husband's sleeping schedule when she comes back from work. She decides to shower as soon as she's in the door, waking both of us up. The biggest problem is her smoking habit. She regularly just sits on the porch smoking when she's back from work, popping out every few hours with my husband even smoking with her now. We had caught her smoking back when she was 15, and I had tried to warn her about the risks and had grounded her harshly back then, but nothing changed. It's like she doesn't care about her health since she smoked a pack of cigarettes in a few days. Yesterday was my breaking point, as I caught her talking to my son about her habits. She was telling him how if he wanted to smoke, then it's his choice, and how he'd have to live with that decision. I got angry at her for influencing my son, since he has never done anything like that. She tried to argue that she was just teaching him about choices and consequences. She then stormed off to her room, and my son refused to speak with me. She has barely spoken to me since, and my husband is now mad at me for shouting at her, and my son refuses to listen to me still about her influencing his behavior. Well, I don't think OP has a right to educate her stepdaughter, as she's an adult, and it doesn't look like OP has ever been a mother figure to her. Of course, if it was my daughter, I wouldn't be happy with her eating habits and smoking, but I guess there's nothing OP can do in this situation except talk to her husband and set timelines for her to move out. Let's see if the community has the same opinion as me. Tasty Glue Cake says, "You're the a-hole. You sound puritanical, judgmental, and controlling, which I find very ironic given that you had your son when you were a teen, and the father isn't your husband, because math. If your son wants to smoke, that is his choice. You as a parent can only teach your kids how to make decisions. You can't make them for them. It's fair to set boundaries and rules for an adult child in your home. But the things you're upset about, she showers when she gets home? Yeah, no crap. Seem bonkers to me. She is an adult, and she probably sees you as the woman who is barely 10 years older than her that married her dad. I wouldn't respect you either. Mind your own business." Joe Mondo says, "You're the a-hole. You're 12 years older than she is, for duck's sake. She told your son the truth. And when you were her age, you were already a mother with a much older man. So I don't know why you think you're in a position to keep her on the right track. It sounds like she's doing better than you at the same point in life." Parsimonious Salad says, "You're the a-hole. Her eating choices are her concern. Stop trying to micromanage. It's nice that you leave leftovers for her, though. She works nights. She's going to have a different schedule and wants a shower when she comes home. She's not smoking in the house, so leave her alone. She's an adult and it's her choice. If you're concerned about your husband smoking with her, talk to him. That's an issue you have with him, not her. Talk to your 17-year-old son and let him know he's not allowed to smoke until he's an adult. Lay out all your reasons you are opposed to the habit. You don't have much time left to convince him. Don't shout at either of your kids.